This is the main menu of the Genesys. To make single wavelength measurements, I choose basic ATC, absorbance, transmission, concentration. That will get me to this screen. Right now it's measuring C, concentration. Unless you've done something to change it, concentration is the same as absorbance. However, I will show that you can change the mode here. Now it is reading A for absorbance, and it says absorbance up here in the corner. I will set the wavelength to be whatever I desire. So if I want 550, I type in 550. It's now measuring at 550 nanometers. Here are my plastic cuvettes, semi-micro. To prepare a baseline, I simply add water to the cuvette. This is ready to be used as a baseline in the spectrophotometer. I will put my sample in to the slot marked B for baseline. I need to be careful that the sides are facing the right direction. Seated firmly. And now I press the button that says measure blank. So those three beeps there tell me that it has zeroed it out. So this cuvette with water now reads 0. To measure my sample, I will remove the blank and use a pasteur pipette to remove the contents. So with skill, I can pipette out 99% of the fluid in the cuvette. That was well done. That's water, it's just going in a waste vessel. Now I'm ready to take my bacterial suspension, put it in the cuvette, measure the absorbance. I want to avoid spilling the bacteria. So here's my cuvette with the bacterial suspension. Volume isn't tremendously critical, but this is plenty. It's above the part where it flares out. I will put this into the first slot. I'm putting this actually into the slot still marked B. So I'm putting this into slot B. Put that into slot B. And I just close the lid. So now this is reading the absorbance at 600 nanometers of the bacteria in the cuvette. That's it, I'm done. So now I'm going to remove my bacteria from the cuvette. In this case, I'm going to dump them directly into the bleach to kill them. I have no other purpose for these bacteria. They've done their job. So again, I pull out 99%. Into the bleach they go. I will rinse my pipette with the bleach, kill any bacteria in the actual pipette. Dump my used cuvette into the bleach. This pipette will go in the pipette trash as usual. I'm now going to run a mock protein assay. First I will set the nanometers to be 595. Set the wavelength to 595 nanometers. I have here a pretend set of tubes that have some protein in. The first one has no protein. That's my blank. So I will first use a disposable cuvette. This is just the Genesys reagent, no protein. Need a suitable volume. I will measure a blank. Measure blank. Now this reads 0. I'm ready to measure my sample. In this case, I will remove the original solution using the pasteur pipette. Skillfully getting the last drop out. Put that back into the test tube that has my blank. Get the last drip out of the pipette. Take my next sample. This one has some protein in it. So this should have some absorbance at 595 nanometers. Put that in the machine. Seat it firmly. Close the lid. Here's the reading at 595 nanometers. This sample is measured. I'm using the same pasteur pipette. I'll get a little bit of cross-contamination, but nothing worth worrying about. Drain my cuvette down to the last drop. Put that back in that first test tube there. Take my sample from test tube number 2. Put that in the cuvette. Put that in slot B. Close the lid. I've just measured my second sample. So you should be able to run fairly quickly through a set of 4 or 5 tubes and measure their absorbance at 595 nanometers. So this cuvette has served its purpose. There are no living bacteria here. I do not have to worry about disinfecting the cuvette. I can simply throw this one away in the trash. The disposable cuvettes live in T3.